Good day, trader, and welcome to the Forex webinar. Today I'm going to be talking primarily about two things. The first thing is the Rand and why I think it's in trouble now. And the second thing is how what the US dollar is doing now that Brexit is in play again. And we have the Dow Jones at the highest level that it's been, or the all-time high over 22,000. And there's an expectation of another 25,000, which is good for the US dollar, and what it could mean for our trading as Forex traders. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is the weekly chart of the Rand. What you'll notice is that since, let's say, April 2013, all the way up to 2016 in January, the Rand has been weakening from 8 Rand 91 all the way up to 16 Rand 66. Then from January 2016 down till today, let's say August or July 2017, it's been forming what's known as a wedge pattern. So you can see it's been a wedge because the price has been wedged into a triangle, and the price of the Rand has been going into what's formed into what's called an apex. Okay, and at 3/4 of the apex you expect a breakout. So to be honest, and I have to be honest, I did expect this movement in this pattern to continue down to around 11 Rand 75, back up to 12 Rand 60, and then potentially at 11 Rand. But we can see that in the last few weeks it's actually broken out and above the wedge pattern. Now, what you need to know about a falling wedge is that it's a continuation pattern of the previous trend. So we had this uptrend, we've had this wedge, it's broken to the upside, and now, unfortunately, guys, I have a new target for the Rand at 16 Rand 80, which is not good for our pockets, not good for prices in South Africa, and even the confidence. And you know, I know we survived the Moody's downgrade, but now there is a bit of trepidation that there's going to be more potential downgrades going forward. There's too much political tension now with the no vote of confidence, where Zuma survived the motion. And there's also tension with the cabinet that's about to be shuffled a bit. The unemployment rate in South Africa is the highest it's been since 2007. We're seeing more bailouts in South Africa, for example, with South African Airways and other, there's huge challenges with state-owned enterprises. So the fundamentals are there that the Rand weakness is still to come. There isn't strong enough fundamentals that South Africa is looking good for Rand's strength. Okay, so this is what happens, and that is, the wedge forms, it breaks to the upside, and then the target is to around 16 Rand 80. Okay, so if you're worried about your portfolios, or you're worried about your money, your financial situation, then I urge you maybe to take a look at our investment services such as South African Investor or Real Wealth, which hedge against these type of situations where they actually take advantage of getting into stocks that complement a Rand weakness. For example, Resources, Anglo American, Billiton, Kumba, but obviously Joshua Benton, who writes for South African Investor and Real Wealth, will tell you more about it. I will leave those links below because I can see we are hitting critical times in the economy and with South Africa, and I'm getting very worried about you. And you know what else I'm worried about is the general market confidence with South Africa's economy, with the South African Rand, and also currently with a couple of currencies. For example, the Great British Pound is quite concerning at the moment. I haven't included it into my currency watch list lately, purely because we have had these candles, these red candles, and these huge moves which could jump our stop losses. And there's something called flash crashes. Flash crashes is where there is low liquidity, okay, in the market, or lower liquidity than normal. There's still billions of rands being traded in these the pound pound dollar, etc. But the thing is, people take advantage of this lower liquidity and they're able to manipulate and jump the market, sometimes even 300, 400 pips. So the Great British Pound is completely off my watch list for now. And until I let you know that things are calming down, and until they decide what are they going to do, because if there's going to be if European countries start leaving the euro, and with the Brexit in place, the thing is the pound is going to be in trouble and the euro is going to be in trouble, and we need to find hedges for these currencies. So I'm considering every little aspect right now. Okay, now, so we know what I expect with the rand weakness. I've told you about ideas on what you can do with your portfolio, and now I want to just show you the general market of the currencies. For example, the Great British Pound has now been moving in the sideways direction. Then it breaks to the downside and it continues sideways direction. This is not what I look for in trading. I need perfect breakout formations forming, whether it's a W formation. So for example, this is a W formation. It broke to the upside and then it continued to go down. So now these are fake outs. So this is why I don't include the Great British Pound. All right, let's look at a couple of others. The euro dollar continues to just go sideways. It is not helping us with our forex trading. Now, I have to warn you that this does happen 1 or 2 times a year, okay? And sometimes it can even happen 3 times a year until the markets calm each other down, until they calm down with the huge fundamental news at the moment. I mean, with the political tension going on in North Korea and the US, people are scared. There was even a false siren that went off, and people are now worried for their lives, you know. So we need to consider these aspects. The forex market is not a small market. It's a $5.3 trillion a day industry. And you have to be very careful. That's why I always tell you to risk around 1.5 to 2% of your portfolio per trade, so that if the market goes down or it changes direction, you haven't lost a lot compared to newbie traders. Okay? So let's take a look. What else do we have? So we have the NZD USD, which is a trade I sent out. It formed a beautiful rounding bottom. It broke to the upside, and now it's coming down. So it's only 10 pips away from our stop loss. Not looking good, but luckily I told you to risk a little bit of your portfolio until the market goes into a better environment. This is the realities of trading, and no matter which forex service or trade strategy you look at, you're going to see that the forex market will not cater to all environments. The trading strategies do not cater to all environments. It's either a trending strategy or a breakout strategy, or a consolidation strategy where people trade inside the consolidated movements. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. The USD CAD, it looks like the downside of the United States dollar is still in play, but it is just broken out. So if it continues up to around 1.2714, forms a pattern, we'll get into a nice long trade. Okay, GBP AUD, let's not look at that because it contains the Great British Pound. Let's see, USD CHF, similar to what we just saw. It looks like the United States dollar wants to start strengthening a little bit, but then again, we're only looking at the 30-minute time frame, and also we're in this consolidation or sideways movement, which is not showing any strong direction of any trend. Okay, Euro JPY continues to what happens is it comes down, it forms a breakout pattern, it goes up a little bit, and then it continues down. So the euro is also not looking good in general. Euro GBP contains the Great British Pound, which is not what I'm looking at. So sometimes cash is king, guys, and sometimes it's better not to just take trades for the sake of it, because a market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. So, for example, the AUD USD has broken out of its downtrend. It's now going up, so I'm waiting for a conservative level. I'm thinking of actually sending a lot more trades in the future where, sure, we'll take small losses, But when we hit those take profits, we'll be maximizing them because they're going to be a lot higher up than our stop losses. Okay, so if you're willing to risk, say, 2% of your portfolio, then our reward will be 4%. And if it's 1.5% risk, then it's 3% gain. You've got to think of it like that. Okay, so I like the AUD USD at the moment. I see it's broken out of its downside. I'm going to wait for the pattern to form. As with our current trade of the NZD USD, we're just going to have to wait it out. Okay, and if it forms this flag and it breaks to the upside, we could be, it might be looking better for upside, but I'm not too sure. As you know, the Forex market is unpredictable. All we can predict are probabilities, which also has possible downside to come. Okay, as I've told you before, it's all about probabilities. So preserve your capital, protect your capital. You can even go back to paper trading until the market becomes more stable to trade. But as I've told you before, I'm starting to see a change in algorithms, and we might need a change of strategy just a little bit. Okay, not the money management rules and all that, but actually just, for example, we might need to hold longer onto our trades so that the market can correct and then it can continue to the upside. Or we wait for bigger breakouts, and not just, for example, 5-day breakouts, but we wait for 10-day breakouts. Whatever it is, we are going to adapt. I've been in this industry a long time, and I'm going to show you the different ways. The last time I had a losing year was 2011, okay? And it can most definitely happen again, but we need to find ways to adapt a strategy, look at it, and then we take full advantage when we've pretty much cracked the Forex market, and we get trades that are a lot higher probability than what you've been sending. All right. So I hope that's made sense. As you know, sometimes I talk a little bit fast and I speak just in a trader point of view. But, you know, if you have any questions, you can ask me on Facebook Trading Tips. In the meantime, you can also diversify your portfolio, like I said, with South African Investor, Real Wealth, Red Hot Penny Shares. Or you can go back to our good old JSE and you can look at my Red Hot Storm Trader service, which currently is doing very well. Okay, this quarter is doing very well. And I'll put all the links in the descriptions below so you can take a look, have a read, and see what suits you best. All right, but have a fantastic weekend and we'll chat soon.